Hi, I'm Emma, and you're watching Our Baby Way. And this is Uhtred's 1 month old birthday. So this is the last weekly video we'll be doing, and then we'll be doing month by month. So the next one will be 2 months. So right now he's sleeping because he just nursed, and you just missed him being really noisy. Also, please forgive my hair. It looks like I fell out of a washing machine. um, but so one thing that's happened with him is he started to become super noisy, and it's hilarious. It's when he's like in half sleep or when he's like asleep. Because the other night Jason couldn't sleep, so he was up a lot and he could hear his noises, and I was asleep, so I didn't know. But he makes crazy noises when he's like dead asleep. He does a lot of moving, and he does like weird stretching, and sometimes he makes like a sound like a little mouse. But this is while he's not awake. And he makes a whole lot of grunting and like just really hilarious sounds. So he's gotten so noisy. He's also a couple times made a sound that isn't a sleep or a crying sound. It's like a little coo sound. A couple times he said like, "Ooh," like a exclamation of a word. So that's really cool. Also, too, this past week, but it's starting to go away now, he was getting little baby acne. Did you hear the noise? That's like the quietest noise he ever makes. On his cheeks and chin, but it's starting to go away now. It only lasted really for a couple days and looked kind of not so good then. Stretchy baby. But that's starting to fade, and that no one knows exactly what baby acne is about, but most speculation is that it's a hormonal thing. He's still getting my extra hormones in his body out. So that's something that's happened that's starting to get better. Yeah, his sleep pattern has changed too. So before he was sleeping, at night, 2 to 3 hour stretches, and in the day, a couple of those same stretches. But now he doesn't do that in the day anymore, unless he's laying on top of me or a person. Used to be 2 weeks ago, he could sleep in his like rock and play or in his bed in the day, and he would stay asleep, but not anymore. He wakes up and he's really pissed. I don't know what that's about. I think it's really interesting. But at night, he sleeps even better. I haven't really been looking at the clock because I've been so tired lately, but I think he's been going over 3 hours sometimes, like to 3.5. And it's not like you don't have to worry that he'll wake up. He just stays asleep. But this is starting kind of before we go to bed. So we need to start changing our bedtime to be like 9 o'clock. Because that's kind of when he starts winding down. Maybe 9, maybe 10. It depends. So he really goes with dark, it seems like. And his circadian rhythms are seemingly really aligned with nature. So he'll start his sleep cycle, especially earlier if he's like on top of me or Jason. And before that, he does a whole lot of nursing and like wiggle nursing and like punching me and like crazy wiggling and and getting out all of his bubbles. And it's pretty acrobatic and funny, especially because he's getting so strong. He can almost fully support his weight with his legs when he's jumping about on top of me, like a lot. I've gotten like kicked in the stomach so many times with his full weight, and it's pretty intense. Different things like that. But so it starts around that time of night and it goes up until dawn, versus before he would sleep until like 10 or 11 in that same cycle of 2 to 3 hours of sleep, but not anymore. So he's like, it's like just at dark is when he's going to do that 2 to 3.5, I guess, hours of sleep with just nursing in between and falling right back to sleep. And then making hilarious noises throughout the night. And then once dawn comes, like you can't really keep him asleep anymore. He doesn't go back to sleep. He doesn't really get frustrated that he's not entertained, but he just wiggles all the time. So if I pick him up and I move him to like lay on my chest to see if he'll go back to sleep for a little bit, he like nurses a little bit. He just kind of like lifts up his head and looks around and tries to roll off of us and like wiggles and like kicks around and makes crazy noises. And I keep thinking any minute he'll start crying and be like, I'm so annoyed, do something else. But he sort of entertains himself by being a wiggly weirdo for like up to a couple hours in the morning if he's with us, if he's on top of one of us. um, and then during the day, he doesn't take long naps anymore. Like if he falls asleep on me after nursing, I can put him in the rock and play and it'll last 15-20 minutes. That's usually it. I think the other day we had a 45-minute go, which was exciting. So during the day, he doesn't really sleep separate from people anymore. And he has a lot more awake time too, so that could be part of it, is he doesn't really want to sleep that long. He wants to wake up and do things, so he gets really bored if he's in the same spot. Like this spot on the sofa, if he's been here for too long, he gets annoyed and he wants to get walked around. He's really been loving outside. I think I mentioned that before. He really loves Jason's art tours still. He has the same amount of gas. I haven't noticed anything related to my diet that's affected his gas. It's just average amount. He needs to be burped for a while after eating, and then, you know, he can just sleep or relax or whatever. But also, too, he doesn't fall asleep after eating every time now, which is new. It's like only a 50-50. I might have mentioned that last week. I don't remember. But that's something. His eyes have started to change color a little bit too. Like I feel like they're getting more blue. But I don't know if that's still related to his just baby eye color or if it's becoming his eye color. I think it's different for everybody's baby. It'd be cool if it was his eye color, if we already knew what it was, but I don't know if we do. So we also weighed him, and we actually weighed him a couple days ago, almost a week ago. Wait. Yeah. No, about a half a week ago. So he's bigger than this now, but he is 10 pounds, 12 ounces, which when he was born, he was 8, 10 and a half. So at 1 month old, which is in this case 31 days, he is 2 pounds, an ounce and a half over birth weight, which means that he's gaining even more weight than the recommended amount. Not by a ton, but he's gaining more. Because you're supposed to gain between an ounce and half an ounce and an ounce. And he's gaining more than an ounce a day, because that would be 31 days, but he's gained 33 and a half ounces, right? 16 ounces per pound. Yeah. So he's close, but he's on the upper end. And he was apparently, we were looking at it, he was in the 80th percentile of weight when he was born. Now he's in the 90th percentile of weight at 1 month. So I'm really happy about that. That makes me feel really good about his eating habits and his health and my ability to provide for him the way I'm planning, you know. So that's exciting. He's been smiling a lot more, like the reflexive, like while he's napping, smiling. So I think he's getting geared up to smile at us. And a couple times this morning and yesterday, he would smile when he happened to be looking at my face, which is a new thing because he wasn't looking at it much before. But I don't think he's smiling at me. I think he just is looking at my face, figuring out what it is, and starting to see that it could be me, and practicing facial muscles. So I'm not going to say that he's like intentionally smiling at me yet, but I don't know. Maybe he did. But when he smiles, it's like the most magical thing in the world. I'm sure all parents out there, or grandparents, or aunts or uncles think that about their babies. It's like this little side smile, and then his whole hairline shifts. He goes, like, I can't even do it, but it's like his whole skin moves back, and like, oh, joy is what it looks like, and it just makes me want to pee my pants and cry. He's the cutest monkey in the world. Let's see. Also, too, I don't think I mentioned last week, he has gotten a bath, which he probably hadn't, honestly, last week. We waited a long time to bathe him because he wasn't smelly. The only thing was he had, like, cheese, you know, curdled breast milk in his neck. You gotta, like, clean it out. Because he's got so many folds of skin and not much of a neck because he's still little and he hasn't stressed his muscles yet. But he's gotten 2 baths. He got 1 bath with Jason and I, and he got 1 bath with my parents, which they're called Grandbo and Doodad, his grandparents. So they got a bath outside. He got a bath with them outside in like his little bathtub on the table to see the trees, and he likes that. He doesn't like, at first he's like, what's happening? And then he just kind of starts to get a little zony, like, ooh. And you can tell he likes it. And he doesn't cry at any point. He doesn't get impatient to get out. So that's something that's really new. But I think otherwise, like, my feelings right now are just that he feels really big and really heavy and really dense. I'm also really grateful that the weather has changed this week and gotten a little chillier just the past few days, which is really nice because I'm so excited for fall. I'm really done with the heat right now. And I'm excited to be able to put him in clothes because he's been mostly naked this whole time, except for a diaper. And yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned in another video that the first 2 weeks were kind of easy. These last 2 weeks haven't been as easy, except I feel like we're kind of on the up and up of me finally starting to figure out how the patterns of how I do things. Like I thought I had it figured out. I didn't really, but his pattern changes and I'm going to have to adjust it every time. But I'm feeling better about how to manage my time, I think. But that could just be for a couple days. I got lucky. And of course I'm not doing as much as I have on my to-do list, but like at least I'm starting to identify like types of things, like things I can do when he's on top of me, things I can do when he's sleeping separately from me, and those are the things like, quick, do it! And then there's things I can do when Jason is taking care of him, which, depending on the course of the day, a lot of the time he's doing animal stuff that's really dirty, and so it's hard for him to come in and out and help, because he's covered in animal poo or whatever. So, when he gets older, it won't be a big deal, because we'll just be able to hold him anyway. This guy's immune system is going to be fine. But right now, he can't come in and out a bunch and help without showering every time, and it just kind of slows the whole process down for him. So it's like, kind of like he's at work even when he's, at work elsewhere even when he's here. But, it just depends on the day and, like, what portion of the day. So I think we just need to get better at communicating about, like, what our plans are, what I am needing to do, and what he's needing to do, and most of the stuff that's outside the house is what he's needing to do that isn't baby stuff. But I just think we need to get better at communicating about that. And I think we are, so that we can feel like a team with, like, tag teaming him. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the update with him. Let me give you a nice face shot of the sweet chicken. You hear how noisy this kid is? And he's just dead asleep. There's the goofer. He's a big old chub monkey. And he looks super chubby right now because his neck is all skunkled up. But anyway, that's Uhtred making noise for your delight. And I will see you in a month for the 2 months update on being a mom and having a little baby son. Thanks so much for watching Our Baby Way. And stay tuned. Okay, bye.